Welcome to This Explainer. You know, if you've ever looked at your garden, especially if it's a smaller urban space, and just felt completely overwhelmed by the upkeep, well, I want you to just take a deep breath. Today, we're exploring how to create this incredibly calm, thriving garden space right in your own backyard. And we're doing it using the gentle, really restorative philosophy of no-dig gardening. We're going to look at how we can literally invite life back into our soil just by changing how we group our plants together. This quote right here, it brilliantly illustrates our starting point. Think about it. When you observe the natural world, like a woodland edge or a wild meadow, you immediately notice that natural systems thrive through diverse, layered communities, right? You never see large, empty expanses of bare earth with just one type of plant growing there. No way. You see a beautiful, complex tapestry of roots, flowers, and fungi all living together. And the best part? We can bring that exact same quiet resilience right into our own raised beds. All right, let's jump into Section 1, Nature's Growing Communities and the No-Dig Philosophy. So rather than constantly battling to control our growing spaces, we can actually build a balanced ecosystem through what's called companion planting. Basically, this is the practice of growing different plants together so they actually support one another. It's like a giant puzzle where all the pieces fit perfectly into the no-dig approach to create a deeply resilient miniature ecosystem. Sometimes this support is super practical, like drawing in pollinators, and other times, it's simply about fostering healthier biodiversity and respecting the living soil right beneath our feet. Moving right along to Section 2, the miniature ecosystem. Now take a look at the clear contrast here between the tidy but honestly really vulnerable old way of growing and the vibrant, supportive ecosystem of a no-dig bed. In a miniature monoculture, where you've just got these large, uniform rows of one single crop surrounded by bare soil, pests can spread like wildfire. It requires constant intervention from you. But when we create a miniature ecosystem with diverse, layered plants, well, the garden becomes a balanced, self-supporting community. It just feels grounded, natural, and remarkably resilient. Which brings us to Section 3, balancing pests and pollinators. So instead of viewing insects as simply good or bad, we can start to see how they naturally regulate each other to keep populations in a really healthy balance. Take ladybirds, for instance. They are incredibly efficient at feeding on aphids. And hoverflies. They're fantastic multitaskers. The adults pollinate your flowers, while a single hoverfly larva can quietly consume literally hundreds of pests before it even matures. And of course, bees provide the absolutely vital pollination needed for crops like beans and courgettes. See, they're all working together. And this is exactly why companion planting is such a game changer. By avoiding broad-spectrum pesticides, which absolutely wreck those wonderful pollinators we just talked about, and by skipping the intense disruption of digging, a no-dig garden aims for real long-term stability. Because think about it, when we repeatedly hit the reset button on the ecosystem with chemicals or a spade, we break all those delicate networks trying to form in the soil. But if we just step back, worms, microorganisms, and insects slowly become part of one harmonious living system. Now, you might be wondering about flowers. Flowers woven directly into your vegetable beds are not just decorative afterthoughts you stick around the edges. No, they are essential, functional parts of the garden's whole ecosystem. They draw in the life your vegetables desperately need to thrive. They provide shelter, they dramatically reduce the amount of bare soil, and, honestly, they turn a simple raised bed into a buzzing, vibrant hub of biodiversity. All right, let's get into the specifics in Section 4, Perfect Plant Partnerships. So how do we actually put this into practice, especially in a small urban space? Let's look at some specific, really beautiful pairings that you can easily try at home. Our first perfect partnership features the classic French marigold, woven closely alongside the large, sweeping leaves of courgettes. I mean, just visually, it's a stunning combination of bright, warm colors popping against deep greens. But beyond just looking pretty, it's highly functional. These marigolds make the bed feel incredibly alive. They naturally work in stages for us. First, they draw in hoverflies and bees. Second, they ensure those massive courgette blossoms actually get pollinated, which directly boosts your harvest, by the way. And third, it's widely believed they actually help reduce certain pests hiding down in the soil. It's a partnership that supports both beauty and productivity. A total win-win. Next up, we have the lovely pairing of trailing nasturtiums cascading beautifully near tall runner beans. This is an absolutely brilliant strategy for smaller spaces because it utilizes vertical height for the beans while the nasturtiums soften the edges of your raised beds down below. But you know what I really love about this pairing? The hidden strategy. Rather than making yourself crazy trying to eliminate every single insect, nasturtiums brilliantly illustrate how we can create a natural balance by deliberately drawing pests away from our food crops. Aphids are strongly attracted to nasturtiums, so they act as a sacrificial plant, basically becoming an all-you-can-eat buffet that keeps the aphids happy and occupied, while your runner beans grow strong and totally undisturbed nearby. It's such a peaceful, natural compromise, isn't it? Okay, our third pairing brings together the simple beauty of perennial chives with leafy brassicas, the cabbage family, like kale or purple sprouting broccoli. Chives are wonderful, low-maintenance multitaskers in a small raised bed. First off, their strong scent actually helps confuse pests that might be sniffing around for your brassicas. Meanwhile, their soft purple flowers are an absolute magnet for bees and hoverflies. And because they're perennial, meaning they come back every year, they just stay right there in the ground, providing vital continuity and natural defense in your no-dig bed year after peaceful year. Which brings us to our final part, Section 5, working alongside nature. By intentionally weaving herbs, tall crops, and trailing flowers into the exact same space, your garden actually begins to mimic nature's own rhythms. And the long-term results, they speak for themselves. Your soil becomes richer, your plants grow stronger, you'll definitely experience fewer serious pest problems because, well, the natural predators are already living right there. But most importantly, your garden becomes far less dependent on you making constant corrections, allowing you to actually relax and enjoy the space. And that's the dream, right? At its heart, this explainer highlights that companion planting and the no-dig philosophy aren't about quick gardening hacks or strict, stressful rules. They are truly about letting the living soil, the insects, and the wildlife harmoniously contribute to your garden's health. It's a quiet partnership. We're working alongside nature, not fighting it. So I'll leave you with this final restorative thought to consider as you look out at your own space, no matter how small it might be. How will you step back, work alongside nature, and weave vibrant life into your own garden? Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into companion planting. Until next time, take care and enjoy the quiet rhythms of your garden.